Con save with advantage, DC 18.
Yeah. See? I'm gonna have to find a good one. I haven't found my dice yet, so I'm just gonna roll it online, as the kids say these days. Oh, nat 20.
Oh! This is amazing. Okay, so you now have become a shapeshifter permanently.
Oh my lord.
Let me just bring up the stats because I've looked at these before.
Yeah. I'll just run into the other room and see if I can find the dice there. Give me a sec.
Okay. Do you want me to wait until you get back? I'll wait until he gets back.
He doesn't hear you.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait until he gets back. How's everybody else?
Good. How are you?
I'm alright. I had a meeting today for SAW, and we had to decide on whether we were all finished like properly or not. And there's a bunch of stuff that we had to just confirm with the other two editors' work, and I agreed to do one of them. And as I've gone through it, I've realised that it was far more work than I was prepared for, and it turned into be like 4 hours of work. Just sat down constantly chipping away at it, having to redo 5 different layouts that had all been done wrong with spelling mistakes and reference mistakes and image mistakes and so much bullshit. But it's done now, so the layouts themselves are great, but because I've had to change so many different aspects of it, like the typeface and the point size and the justification, like it's spaced out all of the writing, so it's no longer condensed in small places anymore. It's now spread out so much further, and so I've had to really fight tooth and nail to keep the layout essentially how it was. But there are some things that I've had to make a massive change to because she just didn't think. Like, for whatever reason, she used like a condensed font for one, and then she used like italics with bold for some others, and then she used like point size 8 for some and point size 14 for others, and then she like put the name under the title in like point size 8 for nearly all of them. And it's like the name should be bigger than the rest of the body copy. Why are you making it so much smaller than the body copy? And there was like a bunch of the fonts she didn't actually get from Adobe, so I had to manually replace them with the pro versions, and it's just, this isn't worth it. It's not worth it. But I did get paid a nice compliment. Kev said that I had basically been the one constant in the whole thing, and that I was essentially the art director. So that was nice. So I've been doing the work of an art director, not just of a lead designer.
Yeah, that's at least nice. For so much work.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh yeah, I put I've gone back in and taken the images that I'd already posted into the general D&D stuff of you guys as gods. I've put them through Photoshop just now. I've exported them as JPEGs, so now you can view them easily as JPEGs. You don't have to click on links to get them. But yeah, it's just something for me to remind myself whenever I do any AI image creation that they come out as JFIFs, and a JFIF is not easily viewed. It's a web link, I think. So yeah, let's see. You all on? Yes, wicked.
Yeah.
Okay. You start to feel. I was going to call you Fabian because I've just been listening to Dimension 20, Harrian, you just have felt this this wash of change come over you, and you start to feel like you're more solid in your appearance. You felt before like you kind of like there was almost like a phase shift in every cell of your body. You felt like you had this sort of static electricity that you were carrying around with you every time that one of these cursed changes happened, and now you feel like you feel sort of like you've got a control over it now, and you could decide how you wanted to change, how you wanted to appear. Um, you now have the race of changeling. Um, uh, Changelings, among other things, you're a medium size, you're a slender build, you're 5 to 6 feet in height. You have a base walking speed of 30, so those things haven't really changed. You do get to pick two proficiencies. You're already proficient in all of them, I believe. Just double check for me. Are you proficient in insight? That was the one thing that I don't know if you're proficient in.
Let me check.
And intimidation, insight and intimidation, because I'm pretty sure deception and persuasion you are already proficient in.
Yeah, well, persuasion and deception, yeah, those are my biggest ones.
I'm aware. Yes, I'm aware of how broken you are.
Let's see. You said intimidation.
Yeah.
That is a 6 on.
Are you
skills.
proficient in it?
No, it does not have the check.
And how about insight?
Insight, where are you? Insight, I am proficient in, yes.
Okay. So I will allow you to remove the proficiency of one that you've already selected and change it for intimidation if you want to. I think, yeah, intimidation's the only one that you are not proficient in. So yeah, your intimidation can become a new proficiency if you swap it for one that you're already proficient in. Your choice.
Okay.
But you will obviously lose the expertise and the proficiency if it's one that you've already selected for that.
I'll keep it as it is.
That's fine. Just wanted to give you the option.
Yeah.
So, as an action, you can change your appearance and your voice. You determine the species of the changes, including your coloration, hair length, and gender. You can also adjust your height and weight, but not so much that your size changes. That means you can't become a large or a small or a tiny creature. You can make yourself appear as a member of another race, though none of your game statistics change. You can't duplicate the appearance of a creature you've never seen, and you must adopt a form that has the same basic arrangement of limbs that you have. That's 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head. Your clothing and equipment aren't changed by this trait, they stay the same. You stay in the new form until you use an action to revert to your true form, or until you die.
Alright.
So that is your changeling feature. You can now become a shape changer. I'll see if I can just quickly copy and paste this over onto your character sheet. So you've got it there. I mean, shall we just... Let's just delete that curse of shapeshifting part. Because that's no longer the case. It's no longer a curse. It's now part of who you are. There you go. Done. You've got it there in black and white for you to see. Right. So yeah, you have all just been hit by the revelation of the fact that you are all gods. I'm going to try and play some music now for atmosphere, and hopefully you'll be able to hear it. Can you hear that?
Nothing yet. Hang on.
Might be a delay.
Would that be... Do I hear something?
It's definitely playing.
Okay. Oh yeah. Now I hear it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Lauren, can you hear it? I don't have webcams up, so I can't see nodding or shaking of head.
Yeah, I hear it.
Yeah.
I hear it.
You hear it? Great. Yeah, I need audio cues today because I don't have Discord up. Okay, So you are now in. I'm going to turn it down a bit though, because it's getting a bit loud for me, for my
Yeah.
taste. Yeah, that's better.
That's perfect.
Yeah, so you are in the museum, and you've just been hit by the revelation of Hestia and of all of these um, sort of simulated memories from your collective pasts that you are the old pantheon of gods in reincarnated form. That there is a new pantheon that took over 999 lifetimes ago, and that you are now on your last lifetime to get shit right before essentially the universe could collapse into chaos. Um, you're also aware that the new blight on the material plane, the one that rent the mountain asunder and sent you all screaming into hell, um, is the corrupted form of Yuri, who is the sister of all of you. If siblings can really be a thing when you're all amorphous gods. Um, you know that you each have different domain over a different part of the cosmos. And Harian, you are aware that you are Aindret, which is the god of change uh, uh, and sort of transition appropriately.
Yeah. Seems
And
quite apt.
with the knowledge of that, and with this feeling that you can now choose a race and gender and appearance, what do you want to change into?
Ooh.
Also, canonically, as a changeling, you are genderless. So you get to choose. You can do whatever you want. You are whatever you want. You are gender fluid.
Yeah. The when I had the curse, what other creatures did I not do yet?
You hadn't done quite a few of them. Some of them aren't
Hmm.
technically counted as large, but for the sake of flavour, I'll allow you to use them. Um, so the ones that you didn't use yet, I think you were an Aarakocra. You haven't turned into
Yeah.
a Knoll, which is what's the word, hyena. I don't
Oh.
think you were a Goliath. You are a Gif at the moment, which is the hippo.
Yeah.
You haven't been a gnome, which is a small, but we'll say that a gnome is fine so long as you're a big gnome. Or you haven't been a warforged, which is I don't think that technically is allowed as a changeling, but I threw it in there because I thought it was hilarious. Elf, half orc, tiefling. You were at the very beginning. That one's like a demon folk. It's like if you've got demonic heritage, then you have horns and a tail, but you're essentially a humanoid. Furbolg is what Farlan is. Like cloven hooves, kind of a tall, strong satyr, basically, like Philoctetes from Hercules.
Yeah.
Yuan-Ti, which is a snake folk. Tabaxi is a cat folk. Satyr is like a small furbolg. Lizard folk, you have been. Remember your tail dropped off. Dragonborn. Dragonborn is what Malachi is. Like humanoid, scaly, but you've got a certain colour. You've got a tail. You don't have wings, but you do have a dragon's maw and snout and everything. A turtle, which is what it sounds like. A genasi, which is like it's like a djinn, like an old genie kind of folk, which come in different elements. So there's like rock genasi, fire genasi. You know that Envo, you started your travels with on the first couple of sessions, Envo was a fire genasi. Then there's Asimar, which is like a celestial heritage kind of being, which is, it's like the opposite of a tiefling, where a tiefling is demonic heritage, and Asimar is like an angelic heritage. And then a centaur, and then we also had a treant in there, which I think a treant and a centaur are both large, as is a gif. But for the sake of scale, we'll just say that whatever one you pick, you can be it. You just have to be medium, but you also have to have seen it before.
Okay. I have seen the hyena one.
The knoll, yeah, you have.
Yeah. Well, let's give that a go then.
Okay. Describe this hyena folk to us. What do you look like at the moment?
Um, well, as soon as I say hyena, I think of the three ones in The Lion King.
Yeah.
I am feeling a bit like I want the hairstyle of Shensi, the leader of the hyenas, in that one, and yeah, but sort of the same temperament as
Okay.
the one that laughs maniacally.
Right, Ed. So
Yeah,
so
Ed.
you want to
That's
be so you want to be a vicious female hyena with the sensibility of a lunatic.
yeah.
Okay, fair enough. And you're still humanoid, so you've still got hands and feet. You
Yeah.
just have the hyena's face, and you're covered in fur. But you are still wearing this tie-up shirt and some hot pants, which just for everybody who's wondering. Um, great, wonderful, and you're in this new form. Um, so Hestia is just sort of stood in front of you, watching this change occur. Sort of nods approvingly and turns to everybody else and says, "So, what, what do you hope to do now? What is left in your journey?"
We got that one other guy to find.
Which other guy is that? Sorry,
The-
I just wonder.
The last one of the Fargunga who we haven't found.
Would you happen to know his name?
Yes, I do know his name.
It was not Malachi, was it?
No, we met him.
Oh, you have. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I killed someone for him,
Oh,
sort of an accident.
was it?
But you know,
It wasn't Steve, was it?
yeah,
I fucking hate
Yeah.
that guy. I'm so glad you killed him. Thank you for that.
yeah.
I could
yeah.
never bring
Malachi
myself to
did
do
the
it.
same.
You see, Malachi had reasons for why he couldn't do it. I could. I just never did because I kind of felt bad about it. But the guy was an
Yeah.
asshole. I'm very glad that
Oh,
you
yeah.
killed him. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It wasn't intentional. I just wanted to hurt him so I'd know who the bastard was anytime he tried to change into me.
Oh,
ever
he
again.
tried to change into you. Oh,
Well, he did.
how
I just
ironic
managed to-
that now you are the changer. Oh, well,
Yeah,
very, very
I
good,
know.
very droll. I assumed from the look of you as you changed, you seemed a little unsure of yourself. I assume I might be plucking this out of thin air that you are new to being a changeling.
Very much so. It was more of a curse in the beginning. Now I've come to accept it. Come to realization of this being a benefit to me.
Well, I must say it's a good look on you, although perhaps a change of attire might be in order at some point.
I would love some other maybe some armor and a weapon again would be nice.
Oh,
But
yes.
you know,
You have these
All things-
these delightful looking maracas. Am I saying that right?
yes.
They
These
seem
are
like they might do a bit of damage to a person's head.
absolutely they do. But I did have a rapier before that was gifted to me.
Oh, rapiers are so last century, dear. The
I
rapiers
know.
are just a crutch for the weak because they do a lot of damage and you can swing them wildly. Honestly, I much prefer a big old hammer. And as she says that, she turns to Icarus, a 2 foot tall person carrying like a fucking huge, like 6 foot long battle hammer.
Yeah.
Now that is a weapon that I can get behind.
Yeah.
That looks incredible, I must say, my small friend.
That is one impressive weapon, I must say. But the rapier has sentimental value more than anything else. On the other hand, I do have these magical maracas.
Well, yes. I mean, you were in my my laboratory? Did I hear that right the first time?
Yes.
So you must have seen all of the rapiers lying around on the floor. Did you not think to pick one up?
I was thinking about it, but never really got around to it.
Right. And I mean, I hate to say it, but I do believe that those are my hot pants and shirt. I imagine
Ah,
that you picked those up while you were there as well. So you chose
yeah,
to pick up hot pants and a shirt, but not a sword. This
yeah,
this gives me a lot of insight into your character.
it
He
Anyway,
didn't
does.
want to go around naked.
Yeah, the thing is, I lost all my clothes and all my equipment.
I see.
Um, it was one heck of a day. Let's just call it that. And
Right.
priorities had to be made. I still had my maracas, so I mean, I did have weapons per se. And well, priority was to not be naked in front of everyone, even though I've done some other embarrassing things in my past.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I am sure.
Hmm.
Well, be that as it may, I believe that you fine folk should need to look for the fifth member of the Forgungara, as you name us. I just liked to call them my friends at the time. It was afterwards, many years afterwards, that the names started to seep through the doors of the Undying Lands, of people remarking upon me with those names. Um, you see, we never named ourselves that. It was scholars years later that did. Um, look, I don't know where you can find Gravar, but I do know that he, well, his practices were unusual. He, I personally myself took issue with the fact that he was a necromancer. He was a cleric of the death domain, and he, well, yes, he played with things that he should not have played with, forces
Hmm.
that should have been left to the natural world. Um, I do not know where he is. I can only suggest that you go looking.
Hmm. Do you have any sort of sense of where we might need to look? Any places
Honestly,
he used to frequent?
honestly, no, I don't.
Hmm.
I know only that he is both a talented necromancer and he, when we were adventuring together, he would
Hmm.
always be particularly helpful with portals. Um, we would just
Hmm.
jump upon the enemy before they knew what was going on, and we would be able to kill them often before they got a chance to react because of the, because they were so very surprised. But yes, he does have a habit of portals. Have you seen him before? Do you know who you're looking for?
Haven't seen him before.
Not to
I
my
Farlan
recollection.
speaks up. Uh, actually, yes, I have seen him before. He was in the Wizards College. We someone who used to be in our party, Lila, and another friend of
Right.
ours, who no longer walks with us, Taryn. We walked into the portal room, and he was there. Uh, he looked awful. She said Hestia pulls out like a wallet, with like in the movies where they all like flick down and they've got all those like photos and everything. Only they're all like miniature oil paintings. You can tell that she's had a long time to go through her memories here and paint the likeness of everybody. And she says, "Did he look like this by any chance?" And I'm just gonna post into the chat into general D&D stuff an image of Gravar that she's carrying with her.
Oh yeah.
Did he look like this by any chance? Um,
Oh yeah.
yeah, he kind of did, and he kind of didn't. He kind of looked a little bit like that, but how should I say? More skeletal. Oh, oh yes. Well, okay. Well, he has been alive for a very long time. So I imagine that he must not look great. Messing with the forces that he does must take a toll on his body, I assume. Uh, Personally, I just create things. Doesn't really take so much of a toll on me as it does on my hammer. Ha 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 ha! She laughs really hard. Titanis gets really spooked by that. Oh, sorry, young bird. Um, uh, Now I'm afraid I have gotten to the point of uselessness. I do not know any more. All I can tell you is that you will most likely find him somewhere that he has portaled to. Um, I I know no more than that. Do you, by any chance, have any of you got the ability to portal to places?
Not to my recollection, I'm not able to. That
No.
baby, on the other hand.
Fabius doesn't. Does Icarus have a spell to do portals or anything?
I don't think so, but I could be wrong.
Have a look through your spell casting list. Might be something on there. Can I ask who has in their inventory the jar?
I'm not the one who has it. Although I don't have anything at the moment, basically.
That looks
I
like
have a
it would be.
jar.
Yeah, Icarus has got the jar. So yeah, Icarus, you remember that you do have something that opens doors to other places. Um, you just remember that it is it's kind of random at how it works.
Right. We could use that, Icarus, but before we do anything, Hestia, I have a question for you.
Go right ahead.
Since you are the finest maker of things in all the land, would you be able to do me a solid and maybe make me some more fitting armor that may be adaptable to my changing shapes?
I could. I would have to go and have a look through my workshop again. Um, uh, do you have a period of time that you might be able to do something else while I go and look?
I mean,
I
we
think
could
I
go.
probably have something there.
Yeah, I mean, we could go and see if we can find Gravar in the meantime, and I can try and make my way back to
Okay.
you. Or if you have a place we could meet up, maybe for a nice coffee.
Um. Well, Farland speaks
Although
up.
with my stomach, I shouldn't have any.
I, I, I don't. I mean, I don't know how helpful it's going to be, but I've been keeping hold of this one spell for a while now. That, well, it gives me some insight into something that I need to find out about, and I kind of think that this might be the time, since Hestia seems to. Sorry, love, but you don't seem to know how we're going to find Gravar. I mean, I imagine you've been here for. Hestia cuts in. Yes, yes. A considerable length of time. I've been here for a very, very, very long time. So, and you don't know where he is. So I imagine he's not here. He's that, or he's very good at hiding. I, I think perhaps I might use a spell to find something out about him, if that's all right with you guys. Do you address that with the
Yeah,
rest of you?
sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, sounds like a great idea.
Okay. Well, I guess. Give me a moment. And I will figure something out. Um. So Farlan sort of gets down onto his knees. Uh, uh, my songs have stopped working. Hang on. It's like only one of the songs is actually working. We'll just go back through this one then. Fucking Foundry. Yeah, so Farlan gets down to his knees. He moves over into a quieter corner. Sort of bows his head slightly and just meditates. And you start to see, like, on this black marble floor, you see through the cracks of the marble a small sort of sapling start to grow, like a little like bud of something green, beautiful, just simple, basic nature. But it's more than that. It starts to grow and sort of wreathe around him and nestle him and hold him, as if nature is trying to reach out and give him wisdom as he starts to meditate on this idea of Gravar. And as he does so, this note, this parchment note, sort of, you see just blow in on an invisible breeze. You don't feel the wind, but you see its effect on this note as it sort of rends and waves its way through, and it lands in Farlan's hand as he's just sort of knelt there in quiet meditation, and you see the effects of this divination. Farlan, to Farlan, what Farlan hears is the voice of a very familiar crow-like creature. And this crow-like creature has reached out using this spell of divination and has given a little bit of information. And here it is.
Whose memory wanes in marble halls, assisting decay's explosive rise, will free the four when felled he falls, and bring about his mind demised. Seek his end at the start of Fey, bring focus to your scrying eye. The boon he grants will make your day, but will not be your last goodbye.
And so you hear this sound in, I guess, through Farlan's sort of mind. You hear yourselves this incredible what's the word? Divination about Gravar. So for whoever didn't get to hear it properly or see it properly, I'm going to read it to you now. Whose memory wanes in marble halls, assisting decay's explosive rise, will free the four when felled he falls, and bring about his mind's demise. Seek his end at the start of Fey, bring focus to your scrying eye. The boon he grants will make your day, but will not be your last goodbye. And Farlan stands and sort of looks at this thing, examines it, and passes it around. You guys all get to see it. What do you make of it? I'm going to need some speech from somebody.
Speaks in riddles.
That's divination for you, buddy. Divination
Yeah.
allows you to get a cryptic clue about stuff.
It said something about finding something at the start of a place.
The start of Fey.
Yes.
I've posted
so,
the little thing into the D&D, general D&D chat. So you can see in that what it actually says. And I'll play it again for you now in the thing.
Whose memory wanes in marble halls, assisting decay's explosive rise, will free the four when felled he falls, and bring about his mind's demise. Seek his end at the start of Fey, bring focus to your scrying eye. The boon he grants will make your day, but will not be your last goodbye.
That's the voice of Edgar there.
Yeah. It did sound familiar.
Mm-hmm. Don't
Let
say I'm
me
not
see.
good to you. Reaching out to people who've been here before.
Whose memory? No.
Whose memory wanes in marble halls, assisting decay's explosive rise, will free the four when felled he falls, and bring about his mind's demise. Seek his end at the start of Fey, bring focus to your scrying eye. The boon he grants will make your day, but will not be your last goodbye.
So maybe he's like at the start of like the Fey rub. Did we ever find anywhere that we could scry? Cause like maybe we could see him that way, and then we could go find him.
Who's got the map?
Ugh.
Did anyone ever add that to their inventory?
I do not have a map. Wait,
Who's
do I
got
have-
the map? You guys have got to get better at putting this shit down on your inventory. Because I swear to God, one of these days I'm just going to say fuck you all and you're done. You're on your own. Figure it out. Thumb a ride. Blah, 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 blah. Alright, I'm on to my last
I
person
don't
now.
think I have that.
Yeah, none of you have added it to your character sheet. So, I guess you're just gonna have to try and do it from memory, or am I gonna be kind? I guess someone give me a history check, and if you get a good enough history check, then I will put it into one of your inventories. But in future, you have to start writing this shit down.
Hey.
You've got to be better at this.
Um.
Anyone who wants to,
Mi-
give me a history check. I'll do one for
mine's-
Farlan as well.
Mine's a 4, but yeah, I'll give it a go.
I'll do one for
Yeah.
Farlan. Farlan got a natural
Oh.
2.
I got 18 on the roll plus the 4. That's 22.
22, then it's now in your inventory. Please add it to your inventory. The map itself is actually in the general D&D chat if you scroll up a little bit. You know that you're in the Museum of Life at the moment,
Right.
and you just came from the forest.
Let's see. Right, here it is. And no. Thank you. Okay, so we are in the Museum of Life.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. There's the Bard's College, restaurant, forest. Drawing pool, office building, horse restaurant, theater. Hey, okay, well, we need a way to find where he'd be.
Mm-hmm.
We could go south to the scrying pools.
Yes, I was about to say, maybe the scrying pools could be our best bet. And I apologize in advance before we go there, Icarus. I'm not sure that the things that I did have vanished or not, but I'd understand if you'd lose some respect for me, and I would do my utmost to regain that respect.
That's
I
very
had
good.
a respect for you in the first place, and the gods have told me to make friends, and so I will forgive you on this occasion, so that we can become friends, like
That's
the
very
gods.
good. That is very
Thank you, Icarus. That is very kind.
Very kind. So, are you gonna head south?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
go.
Well, it seems as if
Let's
you
go.
have your goals aligned. I perhaps this would be a good opportunity for me to go back to my blacksmith forge. Never really gave it a name. Oh dear. As you look out to the doorway of the museum, you notice that the vines have fully grown their way in through the doors, while you've all been having this lovely heart-to-heart. Would anybody like to give a nature or arcana check?
I see what my stats are.
I got 0 on both. If someone has better.
Oof, this is gonna be rough, but yeah, I'll give it a go. Okay, that's a 19 from me.
That's pretty good. Anybody else roll in or not? Shall I do one for Farlan? I feel like Farlan will probably check. Let me get Farlan's stats up again. For nature,
I got 18.
Farlan got a dirty, filthy, disgusting 20. An absolutely filthy 20. So Farlan, sort of, given the way, the nature in which that nature itself has just reached out to Farlan, I guess Farlan probably feels some kind of a connectedness to nature itself, and stands up from his knees and sort of starts to walk over towards the vines, sensing that there might be something changed in this environment. They look different. They look more aggressive. And as Farlan approaches, you notice that the vines do not recede from Farlan anymore. These vines don't have that. They don't have that feature where they move away from you anymore. Seems like Malachi's boon to you has worn off. He warned you that it was temporary, and the time has come for it to be no longer. So you're going to have to start figuring out how you're going to stealth your way through. Remember, the mechanics for this were that if you succeed on a stealth check of DC 15, then you get advantage on your dex saves as you go through. So if you want to figure out some way to be stealthy, to find, I don't know, if you can figure out a way to be a little stealthier than usual, then I can knock down the DC for you individually, but you're going to have to roleplay it. Figure out how you're going to hide from the vines for me. Tell me whenever you're ready.
I have like this spell Pass Without Trace.
Okay.
So within 30 feet
Yeah.
of me, everyone has a 10 plus bonus to dexterity.
Okay. Very good. Doesn't that also give you a bonus to stealth checks of plus 10?
It says that it's masking you and the companions from detection.
Yeah. So you've said that it's dexterity checks. It's dexterity stealth checks.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
It's not just all dexterity, it's only stealth. So you get a veil of shadows and silence radiates from you, masking you and your companions from detection. For the duration, each creature you choose within 30 feet of you, including you, has a plus 10 bonus to stealth checks and can't be tracked except by magical means. A creature that receives this bonus leaves no tracks or other traces of its passage. So yeah, you can use an action. It lasts for an hour, so it'll give you an extra plus 10 bonus to stealth as you move through. That would mean that you can all roll this stealth DC 15 with essentially a DC 5, and you just have to hit a 5 with your regular stats. So you're gonna mark that one off on your sheet then?
Yeah.
Okay, so tick off a second level spell slot for me. Okay, so you guys are, I guess, what does this stealth aura look like when it comes out of Fabius?
It's like it says it's like a veil of shadow, so like shadowy.
Oh, sweet. So it's like, is it like a naturey kind of a shadow, like a dark greeny kind of a thing?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, so everybody roll me a stealth check, please.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, you're just trying to beat a 15 and you get a plus 10 to all of your regular bonuses.
Mm-hmm.
Farland made it.
Okay.
Farland
I
also
would-
has taken some of the vines and the like sapling that grew up around the marble, and he's sort of using them to create like a makeshift ghillie suit, like wrapping some around the horns, using the holly circlet, and doing the same for Stramata. Stramata's got this very cute looking little sort of like flower crown,
Nice.
looking very natural, very stealthy.
Yeah.
Of course, screaming like a lunatic still. And the rest of you?
I would like to use one of my luck points to even better my odds.
Did you roll? Did you fail the stealth DC?
I haven't rolled yet, but I would like to use it in case.
Well, you use it after the fact. You only
Okay.
spend a luck point if you fail. You don't use it to give yourself advantage.
Okay.
But yeah, your stealth. I would imagine your stealth would be good because you're a rogue.
My
What is your
stealth is 5.
Your stealth is 5. So no,
Yeah.
unless you hit a natural 1, you've passed.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I rolled a 10 anyway, so.
Great. So with a 25 stealth, you do really well. Pardon me. Icarus?
I rolled a 9, so 19.
Great. Plus your 3 is 22.
Oh no, that was plus the 3. I rolled a 6 plus
Oh,
3.
okay. Okay, I get you.
I didn't want to have to plus 13 to a 6.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's great. So you're stealthy as well. Farland rolled a
Yeah.
natural 18, which plus 1 stealth and the extra 10 comes out to 29. So Farland's efforts at looking shrubbish and getting the extra bonus from Fabius has really helped.
Yeah, I got to 27 with the plus 10.
27, also incredible. Okay, so we're going to go through then. So you get advantage on your dex saves. It is a dex save DC of wait a second. Right. Okay. Yeah. Right. So it's a dex save DC of 12. And you've got 5 encounters that you're going to go through before you can reach the scrying pools safely. So, the first place that we come to, as you go through the doorway of the museum, you start to notice that this sort of vine, sort of briars, these thorns, this shrubbery, it's all packed in a lot tighter than before, and it's starting to go in 3 dimensions. It's like it's really raised up. So you're not just trying to not trip over what's on the ground. You're also trying to not trip over what's sort of at thigh height. So actually, with that in mind, I guess this would be more of a 15 dex DC. But you've got advantage, so it'll be fine. So if each of you could roll me a dex save with advantage. What did everyone get?
I got a 17.
Great. Farland made it. Did anybody not get a 15 or over on their dex save?
With the plus 10 then.
You don't get a
Or
plus 10 to
is-
this. That's just the stealth.
No.
That's a stealth skill
Okay,
check.
I got 12.
You got a 12. Okay, so that's a fail. And Icarus, what did you get?
I got a total of 19 again.
Great. You're not adding on the 10, are you? Because
No.
pass without trace is not going to affect this. This is a dex save. Okay,
Yeah, I got 16 this time.
great.
And then I the 3.
Wicked. Okay, so Fabius, if you could roll me a d8, please. You want either a 7 or an 8 on this.
I got 6.
You got 6. You start to hear in your mind this. And this singing will resonate and continue in your head until you have another long rest. This means that you will be unable to take a short rest until this happens. So you're going to need to, what do you call it? You're going to need to take a long rest before you can take short rests again. Next encounter. Everybody, you're starting to go down the steps of the museum quarter, and you notice that it's a little bit more embedded in this bit. Rather than double back, it's the quicker way would be to just push on through. So as you all try to move on through this thicker area to get through to a more clearer side on the other part of it, you need to roll again this dex save. Farlan makes it.
Is this still with advantage, right?
Still with advantage, because you got the stealth.
Do you need to roll again if you've already rolled above?
How do you mean?
I've rolled an 18, and I can't be bothered to roll it again because
Like,
I've already.
do you mean because you've got advantage? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, you don't have to do it again.
Okay. Well,
I'm
I
glad
rolled
I
an 18.
had the extra
I
roll.
got 17.
This is a saving throw, so nothing special happens if you crit. So it doesn't mean that you know, if you roll a 20, it wouldn't make any difference. You still would have passed. So did anyone fail that? Anyone get a 14 or less?
I am
No.
so happy I got a 15 on the
You got
dot.
you just managed to do it. Like
Yeah.
I imagine just as you're about to put your foot to the ground, you change the shape of it, and it's just dainty enough to get past the vines. Very clever.
Yeah.
Okay, we're on to the third of 5 encounters. We've got the sort of bridge between the two districts. This is sort of a craggy sort of an area. It's loose rocks. Now I'm aware that one of you has got something that allows you to not have to deal with difficult terrain. This is more than just difficult terrain. This is a magical plant that's trying to eat you. So roll me again another dex save. Yes, it's still with advantage. All of these are with advantage. Rolling for Farlan.
Got nat 20.
Farlan
Nat
failed.
22.
Oh, 2 nat 20s. Oh my god,
Did
that's
we all
sweet.
3 roll a nat 20?
Did you get one as well? Oh my god! And Farlan failed. So Farlan gets there. Farlan was the last of all of you to have ever received a fail in this. Farlan gets his first fail. And Farlan needs to roll a d8 to see how bad that fail is going to be. Farlan wants a 7 or an 8 on this. Come on, no whammies, no whammies. Oh, yes. Farlan got a 7. So, did lose, but no effect from it. No additional effect. You start to near the scrying district. You can see the horizon ahead of you. As you do, let me just bring up the scrying district and activate that for all of y'all. Let's get the players on the board. Boom. 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 Who is that? Which one of those is you? I think it's that one, isn't it? Yeah, that one's the one. I've also realised that I've not been rolling for Iris, so I'm going to have to roll for Iris in a moment. But this one is the fourth of your rolls. You start to see the nearing scrying center to your left as you walk south through this area. And as you do, you start to stumble and fall over some of the rocks on the ground here. There's sort of loose paving. Give me another dex save. Farland just made it.
What is my
I got 14.
dexterity?
Oh, yes, I admit.
Okay.
I definitely failed.
No, I failed.
5.
Oh, I got an 18.
So we've got 2 fails. Yeah, okay. So each of you roll me a d8.
Rolled myself a
One.
So say that again, sorry, Icarus.
7.
You got 7. So Icarus, you do not get another effect. I do need to ask of Fabius though. Fabius, what is your favourite memory from your past?
Ooh. Yeah, that's a good question. I think when I first met Titaness.
Okay.
Yeah.
As your mind goes back to that day, as you're moving through these vines, you feel that memory drift from your recall. You don't have that memory anymore. You no longer remember how you and Titanis met. Now you get to the doorway of the scrying center, and you have this one last hurdle to get through until you can see that it's clear on the other side. This place must have been enchanted, have some kind of abjuration magic surrounding it. This whole area looks like it did. And you need now to make one final dex save to get inside. It's the top right building on the map, if everyone can see that. And Farland got a nat 20.
I got a dirty 22.
I got 16.
Filthy 20.
I got 50.
Okay, great. You've all passed that one then. And as you do, I'm going to roll for Iris here to see if Iris failed at all on any of her saves. Now, Iris has got a +4 to dex saves here. That one was an 18, so that's a 22. That one's a nat 20. Oh. I think I just rolled my dice into my mute and deafen button. So that's 19, so that's 23. I think that's the third roll. That's a 12, so that's 16. And last one now. Made it again with an 18. So Iris manages to get through unscathed without taking any negative effects. As you all make your way inside of this place, you see a beautiful vista surrounding you. Fabius, you're going in the wrong direction, friend.
Oh
If
no.
you want to keep rolling stuff, I can make you roll stuff, but you're going exactly in the wrong direction. The building directly on your right. I've moved Titanis for you.
It's a building.
Here, let me just drag you inside. Dear Lord. Yeah, so you are all stood in this sort of beautiful area surrounded by what look like shimmering golden discs. Each of them has a different sort of view. Each of them has a different image portrayed through it. You've got what look like humble but loving families on the material plane. Each of them sat down to dinner. each of them sort of frozen in a moment in time because of this whole time dilation thing. You see that there are incredible metropolises of all different kinds. You see that there are different planes of existence here. You see that there are other people in the same plane as you in the Undying Lands. And if anybody could do me a solid of rolling me an Arcana check, I'll be able to give you some kind of inclination to what this place is. Since you rushed through it the last time.
Who's got best on Arcana?
Just roll and see who rolls best. Because sometimes you'll beat it with
I got a
dice roll.
I got a 16.
Rather than negotiating it, you know. You got a
I got a
16. Farland got a 13.
I got 10.
You got 10. Iris got 5. Iris really doesn't know much about magic. Iris is a fighter. Iris doesn't know shit about magic. Harrion, as you look around, you remember something that you heard some of the Silent Hand talking about. When they were trying to look at people to find out where their riches were kept, they did employ the use of magicians and wizards. And you remember the fact that scrying only usually works on the same plane of existence as you. And that certain magic users can be aware of the effect of a scrying sensor looking at them. You have this idea, as you look upon all of this, that if you were trying to locate a specific person, it could be very difficult depending on that person. But for some reason, these scrying pools are looking at different planes of existence. This shouldn't be possible. It's almost like this is... Because all of these buildings and all of these places in the Undying Lands are all from ancient times, it's almost like because this building came from that time as well, that this is ancient magic that has been lost to time, and that's the only reason why scrying doesn't work that well anymore. When you cast it as a spell, it's no longer as good, because, you know, people have lost that kind of technology, that kind of arcana technology. And you look around and you see this beautiful landscape of shimmering discs, each of them more beautiful than the last. And as you peer in all of these, you see one slightly brighter than the others that also catches Icarus's eye. It is the scrying sort of disc for the sun itself.
Wow. All of this shouldn't be possible, but it's beautiful. It's captivating. And I have a sense that this is going to be one of your favorites, Icarus.
Harrion walks over to this shimmering, scrying pool disc and sort of lifts it in Icarus's direction. And Icarus, you see, as if for the first time, this thing that you start to have like an itch in the back of your mind about it. Same as you had when you were in the Museum of Life. Give me a history check. I'll give you advantage on this.
Could get better than 4 times. $15. 16.
16. So with a 16, you feel like you remember things about the sun that you didn't before. Things that are not from your lifetime. It's almost as if you thought long and hard about this for long enough, you feel like you would be able to remember moments from your time as a god. From maybe your past lives as well. And maybe there's some secret way of unlocking those things. But yeah, in this moment, you start to feel like you have a greater connection to the sun than ever before. And as you stand there and think about this, you feel the hum of spark in your hands. This enormous hammer that you know was used to forge the sun by your very hands eons ago.
I wonder why I needed such a big hammer to craft a light bulb lamp thing. Seems a bit overkill, but you know, I trust my past self. It's probably the right.
Farland says, it might be a light bulb, but it's a pretty big one. Farland doesn't have great intelligence stats. That's not a slight on Roman. It's just facts, man. Farland's intelligence is a -1. Farland is not a clever boy. he just recognizes that it's a light bulb and it's a fucking big light bulb. So maybe that's got something to do with it. But yeah, Farland being the person that found the divination to bring us here, and you mentioning about the gods, you sort of see this sort of thought processing in Farland's mind, and that they can't. It almost looks. Do you know when you look on someone that it looks like they're trying to make their mind up about something, but they just can't. They're just sort of standing there thinking silently to themselves. Anybody gonna speak? You gotta speak, man. You gotta talk. No one ever talks.
I've been talking quite a bit today.
You talk for the whole party, that's the problem. No one else ever talks. Speak.
The hard thing is to know what to say.
Yeah, but you only ever talk about the important shit. You don't ever talk about. You don't even just have a conversation with each other. Like, oh, nice shoes, thanks, great, got them from my dad. You know, you'd be the most quiet, most pensive, most serious party to ever walk around with, especially since you're in the underworld. My lord. I guess Farland will just come out and say it since no one's asking him about it. I can't decide. I've been holding on to these spells that I can do, and we finally got a breakthrough just now with that divination that I did.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like maybe I should look into that bit of information that we just got about us being gods.
You know what? That
Aren't you
sounds like
curious?
It does sound important.
Don't you want to know more about like what we are, how this all fits, what this all means? It feels sort of big, you know, and I don't know whether I know enough about it to know what to do, you know.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, it's just that I really don't see myself as a god. I mean,
You and me both.
I can't figure it out. I mean, did my former self shit himself too? Or was that just this version of me?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if I want to waste a 4th level spell slot on figuring out why you shit yourself, but
Oh no, that's more of
you
a
you
that's
keep
more of a
on
me
keeping
problem.
on, friend.
Yeah, that's more of a me thing. It's more of a me thing.
Well, I certainly would like to know. I mean, I am. It's purely out of curiosity for me, since I don't recall being informed that I was a god. I believe I'm just a follower of my friend Icarus here. I'm very glad that you are a god, though, Icarus. You do seem to be you have a commanding presence about you, and I like you. I think that you are very, very sweet. If I were to pick a god, would want a god as sweet as you, and not a foul beast. Well,
Yeah,
that's decided it. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, do it.
So Farland finds a space of floor, like a sort of space in the floor where there's fewer sort of scrying discs around, and decides to sort of close his eyes again and
Look at me,
sort
I
of
can light up a
meditate
room.
again. And this time you start to see these vines don't come out of the ground itself. They come out of the scrying discs around him. Like they're coming from these other planes of existence. Almost like they're passing through these discs themselves. And they start to wend and weave their way around Farlan again and start to sort of encase him in more of a grassy cocoon as it was. Only this time slightly different. This time there's more flowers in it. This one looks more meadowy. This one looks sort of more divine. Like there's more of a godly presence to it. And the thought that blows on the breeze again is a new one, which passes into Farlan's hands again. And I'm gonna bring up the message again. I'm gonna play it.
A newer tree at their advent, which never grows on its descent, the truer tree did acquiesce. At fall of branch, the fight suppress. An aged crew of ageless souls gave power to the new control. When lost recall they find again, the newer tree will not remain.
And you get this message, which Farlan stands and passes around to you guys again. Farlan seems a bit nonplussed by it. Can't seem to figure out what it means. But it says, a newer tree at their advent, which never grows on its descent. The truer tree did acquiesce. At fall of branch, the fight suppress. An aged crew of ageless souls gave power to the new control. When lost recall, they find again, the newer tree will not remain.
That
Very
seems
reader.
a thinly veiled metaphor for the newer god, older
Yeah.
god stuff that we heard about from Hestia.
I don't really know about the tree thing, though. What's the whole tree deal about?
Like the old gods are like the truer tree, and then
Yeah.
the new gods are, you know, in the name newer tree, and then at the fall of branch the fight suppressed. That guy died in that fight, and then stuff happened.
Oh, I remember. Hestia mentioned that the fight stopped because that guy, Buri, died? So you think he's the branch?
Yeah. And then it says when lost recall they find again, the newer tree will not remain. Maybe we need to remember some stuff
Yeah.
and find some stuff that we've remembered, and then the old gods will become old gods again, and the newer gods will not remain gods.
Okay. Well,
Well, it sounds good as anything.
yeah.
Go on.
I mean, it
Yeah,
seems
that
like it's
sounds-
some good information, I suppose. Yeah. I mean, it seems like it makes sense. Iris speaks up. Might I take a look? Would you mind? Who do you think has got it in their hand at the moment? I think probably Icarus, because Icarus was just making those points.
Yeah, I'll hand it over.
Thank you, sir. I do appreciate it. She takes it from your hand and takes a look at it, starts to read through it, going over and over in her mind. It's the tree part that gets me. Do you suppose It means a family tree.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's a very
So
good point.
the branch would be a member of the family tree. The branch falling from the tree is the member of the family dying. Huh. But it says that there is a newer tree. Does that mean that the new gods are a family as well? I don't know.
I suppose.
They
Maybe.
could be.
I am but a simple shepherdess. I do not know.
I mean, it's not a bad point, but I mean, then where did that tree come from? I'm just hoping it's not from the fallen branch. That maybe they didn't die, but fell to, I don't know, darkness and grew into a newer tree.
Well, I did see the same moment that you all shared in the museum, since it's visible from the outside. It was remarkable to see. But I seem to recall that the gentleman of which you speak, this friend of yours, this brother, I suppose, Buri, that is it not his body outside, crossing the valley? The one that people cross to make their way into the Undying Lands? Harry, I mean, David, you were seeing Bruce Springsteen at the time.
Yeah.
In the whole explanation that she gave, she did explain that the body that fell to the earth and shattered the one realm into the realms that you know today, the multiple realms, like splitting the universe in twain, into pieces. That body that fell has remained there in the Undying Lands and is, using that body is now a bridge to allow people to enter into the Undying Lands.
Cool.
So yeah, the what do you call it? The god, the dead giant god outside that you all crossed over when you've had our second session together, or it might have been our third. That's Buri. That's Buri's body. Yeah. So you've now got to try and find Gravar somewhere, and you are surrounded by scrying pools. There's thousands of them. So many. There's different scrying pools for every part of life. It's like if you continued walking in a certain direction in this room, that you have a sense that it would never end. Like it was like in the Matrix where all those shelves come whizzing past. It's almost like that, only you go whizzing past them. They go on for infinite distance because there are infinite lifetimes to be able to look at, and you get a sense that these are people who exist in the now. So whatever snapshot of time that there is, as at the point that you look through it, you're going to be able to look for. So anyone that wants to can give me a perception check to try and find any kind of hint towards the right location here.
I can do one. I got 20.
A 20, lovely. That wasn't a nat 20, was it?
No.
Okay. So, Fabius, you remember this mention of the word "fae," and you get an idea that that means fairy. That's the sort of sylvan realm. That's where the pixies and the bugbears and the changelings all come from. That's sort of a realm of fey mischief and of all of this kind of thing. You've never been there yourself, but you know what the kind of imprint of this place must look like. You've seen the material plane. It's very dark. It's very grey. Everything around in there is overcast. All of the fruits are rotten. All of the trees are dying. All of the people are suffering. Nobody ever gets a proper burial. Everybody, all of the prey are attacking the predators. But that's the realm that you came from. The one that you're in now, you don't see the effects of any of that. So you have an idea that maybe these planes are different, that maybe they act in different ways to each other, and it's only really the material plane that has those nasty effects. So you have an idea that potentially the Fey realm might appear to be magical, might appear to be just a mystical, beautiful sort of landscape. And as you sort of look around the room with that idea in your mind, you spot a scrying pool that looks a little bit more sparkly than the rest. It's kind of twinkly. It looks like it's, there's something about it. There's something different. Do you want to approach it?
I would like to approach it.
Yeah, I think we should approach that scrying pool. It's looking different in some way.
Okay. So who all wants to go and have a look at the scrying pool?
I do.
So Fabius, you lead everybody off towards one of these particular scrying sensors. Over here, Iris follows you, as does Titanis. Because Titanis just follows you everywhere. Anyone else who wants to join is welcome to. I think Farlan would move over. Probably, because Farlan's quite tall, he'd probably stand behind everybody that's shorter. Give them some room. Harry, and you said you were going to. Icarus, are you going to have a look?
I'll join.
Yeah, okay. So as you all stand around Fabius, Fabius is holding on to this floating, golden, shimmering disc of light. There are beautiful motes of light, sort of almost like dust, sort of just twinkling down, but never fully hitting the ground. There's almost like there's an updraft. It's like none of this magic will ever fade. It's that kind of a thing. There's colours to this light that you've never seen before, that you've never perceived with your own eyes. There's different hues that I could never even describe for the best of me. But just to look at this thing, it's wondrous. This thing is so breathtakingly beautiful. And it's that sort of sense that you got as you looked at it, Fabius. This is what you saw when you spotted this from across the room. You saw beauty. You saw unending majesty. You saw the creation of all things. And, of all things beautiful, shall we say. And as you look at this thing, you see a sign. And this sign is over what looks to be a large building. You see people stood out front of it talking with each other. And this moment in time is sort of, it's not as slowed down as it would be if it was in the material plane. It's almost about the same speed as what you're at the moment. And so you see these people talking to each other. The sign above it says Bard Rock Cafe.
This looks like my kind of town.
You see another one over to your right, Harrion. Do you want to have a look at that?
Yeah, I'll take a look.
Okay. You see somebody listening to a band. It seems like they're in some kind of a moving carriage. Like this carriage is... it looks like it's quite soft. It's sort of driving itself. Like there's no horse in front of it. There's no creature moving at all. Like there's some kind of magic at play here that makes this thing move by its own power. As you see the person inside of this vehicle look down at what looks to be some kind of moving disc in front of them, it says Edison on the top of it.
I wonder what that could mean.
As they move down this, looks like a paved road, there's a glowing orb above them that moves from green to red, and as it turns to red, this machine seems to slow down and stop. And out of the window, you see Mama John's. And next door to it, you see Build a Blade Workshop. Would anyone else like to do a perception check to see if they can find any more of the Fey Realm?
Brian?
I can do another one. I got 23.
You got 23. Anybody
That's
get better?
Nope, I got a 4.
No? Icarus, did you roll?
I'll roll now. No.
I mean, you might as well.
I only got 10.
You got 10. The perception, Barn got 21. And Iris gets 23 as well. So both Fabius and Iris, seems like almost an instinct. You both turn around and look towards the same thing, and you see something different to all of the rest of it. Something different to the sensor that you just looked through. You've seen, sort of in the periphery, you've seen Burger Queen, you've seen Fey Mobile, you've seen Crispy Critters, you've seen the slave shop named Boys R Us, you've heard the music playing through that person's radio by Red Sabbath, and of course you've seen the posters up on the billboards for the Fey Fighters, the Windows, and the Rolling Boulders. You've seen all of these things. But this is not where you believe the start of Fey was, because you remember that the start of Fey is something mystical, something magical. The Fey turned into this later. They didn't start as this. They never became. They didn't bring out their magic and their pixie wings with ridiculous, cyberpunk technology. What they started out as was mysticism, and they started out as immortals. They started out as these tiny little creatures of the earth itself. These beings that were there to tend the flowers and tend nature. And you have an idea that the beginning of Fae is something far different than what you are perceiving right now. That perhaps you need to go and look elsewhere for what you're going to see Gravar to be in. What you see is an old building, like a huge, incredibly built temple. It looks dilapidated. It looks broken. It looks like all of the white plaster that used to look filigreed and beautifully carved on the outside has all chipped and fallen over thousands of years of just like unending waste and ruin. You do still see sort of like wisps of magic here and there, almost like you see like when the wind turns and it sort of whips up tiny little tornadoes of dust in front of you on the road. It's almost like that, only you're seeing like an echo of magic, like as if some arcane magician has created something in the past, and you're seeing the echoes of this great power through time. You're seeing grand statues that stand far taller than even a dragon. You've seen gold leaf over every column top, all flaking and falling apart. This place looks like it could be the beginning of what you need to see, but you're only seeing it from the outside here. You're only seeing this great, large, looming building. You don't see what's inside, but you do see that there are dim lights through the windows, and that perhaps something nearby might be able to help you. But you don't see anything really beyond this enormous building.
that was interesting.
It seems very different, doesn't it? I wonder, Mr. Bladesong, not Bladebrook, whether they might be able to create a blade for you there. You spoke of a rapier. I wonder if they might be able to create one for you in that Build a Blade workshop.
I believe so. I mean, I do have some coin and other valuables now. I mean, I hope they can. I would be very fortunate if we can go there and see.
Can I ask, while all of this is going on, Icarus, are you taking any time out to make efforts to attune to your new weapon?
Yes.
'Cause
Every
you-
second that
yeah,
I'm
'cause
not done.
it takes an hour to attune to something. So are you spending the full hour just chilling?
Yeah, I'll be like sat in a corner somewhere.
Okay, I'll say in that case that you're not going to be making any perception checks because you have to give this your whole attention to be able to attune. So yeah, you're chilling in the corner. But Fabius seems to be doing God's work, honestly, pun intended, looking through all of these scrying sensors. But you seem to have it seems like you might have missed something along the way. Farlan speaks
Ooh.
up. I mean, I don't want to be stupid or dumb or anything, but this is all well and good. How do we get there? I don't.
That is the question.
Yeah, I don't know how
that's a
we're
good
supposed to
question.
get there. Like, we can see these places, but
Yeah.
I don't know, like, how, if we did use the jar, I don't even know how many uses we've got until it runs out, and I'm pretty sure it just does a random place each time, so it might not be useful to us. How do we make sure that this works? Is there a way?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't open for a very big amount of space either. We're not.
No, it's like an inch.
Yeah. And I mean, I can change shape now, but I can't really change into something that small. And it wouldn't be useful unless I know it's where we need to go and I can find a way to open it more to you.
Well, I mean, I've got this hat, and it creates either a frog, a bat, or a rat. Do you think maybe I could make a rat and send it through?
You could try.
But how are we gonna make sure it goes to the right place?
Look, I'm not the ideas guy. I just thought it up. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I just make a rat. Do you want to try?
We need a way to figure out where it's gonna take us, or take the rat, and a way for it to either confirm or say that it's not the place that we need to go.
Harrion and Fabius can give me an Arcana check if you want.
Yeah.
I'll do one for Iris as well. I don't think that. Oh my god, Iris got a nat 20.
I got
good.
18.
I got a 5.
Iris with the nat 20 Arcana says to Farlan, I believe I've seen that one before. It is the hat of vermin, and it doesn't how do I put this? They don't really follow your commands very well. Not certainly not to the point that they would be able to magically open a door from the opposite side. I believe that perhaps something with more sentience would be important. Since these vermin only live for about an hour, and run away from you at the first sight of you when you create them. So, perhaps not helpful? But thank you for your efforts, Mr. Thornfield.
Good to know. Then we need to find another way.
I'll say that with the Nat 20 Arcana, that Iris can give the help action to someone else who might want to do it. Who else here has got good Arcana?
I have a 4 in Arcana, so
I think that's probably the best.
Yeah.
Well then.
So you could roll with advantage to see if there was something that you might be able to figure out.
Yeah, let's see. Oh my lord, a nat 20.
Wow. With a nat 20, you know for sure that there are 2 people in this room who would be able to fit through a gap 1 inch wide, and that all that would matter then is just to make sure that you could get the location definitely ironed down to where it was going to be, to whatever realm it should be. Because the 2 druids here can wild shape into a creature that's small enough to fit through a gap that big.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me just check on the... I want to just double check that I'm not breaking any rules here. Let me have a look at wild shape and the rules on it. I want to make sure that I'm not saying that wrong. Oh, pardon me. Burp. When you transform. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I've skimmed it. I've heavily skimmed it, but it doesn't look like it restricts the size of creature that you can get to. I'm pretty sure that you can get to a creature's size fine, so long as you've got the challenge rating to do it with. So yeah, I would say that either Fabius or Farlan could wild shape and change into something small enough to fit through the 1 inch gap, and they would stand a better chance of opening the door from that side. But you would need the jar to do it with.
Yeah, I can do it. I'm just gonna see what
Now all you
Okay.
need to do is just figure out how you can get the jar to open to a specific place, or whether you want to roll a die and see if it goes to the Fey realm.
Well, we're not sure how this jar works, but
You know enough to know that it opens to a random realm in a random place.
yeah. I mean, I guess we...
You don't know the nature of all of the realms, but you know that there are multiple of them, and that you know of the Undying Lands, the Fey realm, and the Material realm. Those are 3 of them.
Yeah. Well, we know 3 realms, and we know what they look like, but... Now we just gotta, I guess, take the chance and start opening the jar. It's gonna take some time, but I mean, maybe we get lucky.
No. I guess so.
You want to roll?
Yeah,
Let's see.
let's do it.
So someone roll me a D8.
D8.
Yeah, I'm going to say that you need to roll an 8.
Okay. And
This is as you sprinkle out some of the dust.
I got 4.
Okay.
is this for any is this just the
It's
D8?
not for
No.
everybody. It's just for the one person that's doing it. Because if everybody rolls it, then you're all just dusting out. So it's whoever wants to do it can do it, but just know that every time you roll, you are throwing out some more dust.
Okay.
And it has
um,
limited uses. I'll
we
say that
got
you
it.
have 5 uses. I think that 5 uses is fair. Since there are seemingly 8 possibilities. Are you
Okay,
going to go again?
Yeah, should
Ooh.
I go again or do you want to do it?
I got it. I got an 8.
You got an 8?
Ooh.
Was that on your next
Yep.
roll?
Yep.
Okay. So you've still got 3 uses left after that one. So you see on the roll of a 4, you see the you see that a 1-inch space opens, this gap directly in front of you. The door is a standard door height, but the gap is only a 1-inch wide. And as the door, even just the gleam of light that you see, sort of in this space, this area in front of you that seemingly has nothing in it. There's no physicality to it. You start to see like a rim of white light appearing around the corners, and that white light suddenly turns to red, and you hear this incredible sound of clashing of iron and of steel, and people screaming and shouting and war cries and charging each other. You see through this tiny gap a realm of just unending war. Like these people want each other's blood and nothing will stop it. Do you want to press into that one, or do you want to shut the door?
I'm gonna shut the door on that one if I'm.
Okay, you shut the door, and we're back to lovely, lovely scrying area. Now you, yeah, crazy, that right? You start to pour it out again. This time, Harrian doing it. You've been given the jar from Fabius, and you start to sprinkle out this dust. And as you do, you hear a noise coming from behind you. You hear Hestia walking. Hestia seems like she's been taken worse for wear in all of this, but Hestia nonetheless appears in the room. And she comes over to you, Harrian, and says, I'm so sorry it took me so long. I was just trying to find the best kind of armor for you. Now, I do have 2 options for you. Now, I've created these. Now, I have... which kind of armor are you particularly adept with, might I ask?
That's a good question. I think it's maybe the lighter types of armor, so that I can move around quite easily.
Oh, light armor. Light armor. Okay. Okay then. Well, I should tell you that this one is a particularly nice one of mine. Give me a number between 1 and 5. I've got a random armor generator up, and I'm going to click the button however many times you tell me.
Okay, I say 3.
1, 2, 3. Okay. I'm going to say that you get the legendary magical armor variant of this, which is better than the regular magical one. It repels so this is one of 2 choices. She's going to let you choose one or the other. This one, it repels naturally occurring pests such as rats, insects, and lice. It grants resistance to physical damage dealt by celestials. The armor has no powers except when worn by a priest, paladin, or other holy servant. When the wearer receives a critical blow, the armor absorbs half the damage. The armor has a +2 bonus. Requires attunement. That means that you would need to, you would be able to take this, but you would need to take on your next level up a level of cleric, paladin, or some other kind of variant of worship.
Mm-hmm.
But you would be able to use this once you took a level.
Mm-hmm.
So you would be able to repel rats, insects, and lice. You would take half physical damage from celestials. You would be able to receive only half of the damage when someone crits on you, and it would have a +2 bonus. And it would serve as like, we'll say it serves as leather studded armor. So it's the top level of light armor with the extra +2 on top of it.
Right.
So, I am going to take a screenshot of this. Okay? And I'm going to put that into our text chat, you and I. Our private DMs. Slip it into your DMs with that one. And now I want you to give me another number between 1 and 5.
4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Oh, this one's a long one. Okay. Legendary magical armor. The armor is of old-fashioned style only seen in ancient scrolls. It has a fur lining that keeps the wearer comfortable in cold weather and provides better airflow in hot weather. Grants resistance to physical damage dealt by celestials. The armor allows the wearer to heal a person for 2d8 hit points as a bonus action, as long as it has been at least 24 hours since the last time the power was used. This armor is resistant to cold, adds the armor bonus, or +1 if no bonus, to saving throws the character makes against cold attacks, and the armor has a +1 bonus, requires attunement. So this one doesn't have a restriction on the class of the person, and it has the ability to grant health.
Yeah.
But you only get resistance to cold with this. It's cold and celestial damage again.
Mm-hmm. Still,
But
no.
it doesn't absorb half of a crit though. So
no, that is. Huh.
So I'm going to screenshot this again, and I'm going to post it into our chat again, so that you can compare. So both of them grant resistance to physical damage dealt by celestials. So if an angel tries to attack you, or any kind of celestial power of that kind, celestial is like a whole class of creature. So a celestial is like a ton of different enemies. And if something is classed as one of those, then you will receive half of its damage if it tries to melee or range attack you.
Yeah.
The first one doesn't have any powers except when worn by a priest, paladin, or other holy servant, and absorbs half of the damage if you are dealt a crit. But it has a +2 bonus. The second one has only a +1 bonus and is resistant to cold, but can also heal people. So it's whether it's a healing or a receive less crits, and get a bigger bonus. So the first one you'll be less likely to be hit because it has a +2 bonus. The second one you'll be more likely to be hit because it's only a +1 bonus, but you don't have to take an extra level in something to wear it, and you will be able to You'll be able to heal someone once every 24 hours for 2d8 hit points. I'll let you mull that one over.
Yeah.
As you're mulling these over, she says, "I'm so sorry that I couldn't bring you more. It's just that your stipulation of only being able to wear it as a changeling, well, it sort of narrows the number of things I can bring you. These will, of course, both mold to your shape, no matter which shape you take. It will be form-fitting, shall we say. Always accentuating the right curves. Whether you are a beautiful female gnoll, as you are at the moment, or whether you take another shape entirely.
Right. Well, all I can say is thank you, and
I love having a
will-
gender fluid character in the game, by the way. That's amazing.
Yeah,
I think having a gender
and
fluid character in the game is amazing.
I thank you, Hestia. It's more than I could ever have hoped for, even having these two options. I know I narrowed it down quite a lot for you, and I see it's taken some toll on you. And you have my deepest of gratitude, and I will try to pay you back in whatever way I can. And for now, I will actually, I have decided, and I will take the first armor.
Oh, very good choice. If I do say so myself, I do like this one. Um, do you have a name for it of any kind? I never really named it. I just had one of those manic phases in my life where I was just whacking out armor here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah.
Perhaps you should think on it. I have
Ajahn.
noticed you don't have a party name. You don't seem to have named yourselves, which is not unusual, but is kind of, well, yes, unusual. And you don't seem to have names for your weapons either. Iris speaks up. Actually, I do. Mine is called Bessie. Bessie was the name of my wolf. It was super vicious, and it really did kill people a lot who tried to steal my flock. So yes, I've named mine Bessie, and I will shank a bitch who tries to harm my friends. Yeah, as Icarus is in the corner, you know that you've got a name for yours. Yours changes name by what you choose to use it as. You got Smother and Spark.
This is very true.
And you do also have the armor of the Lightbearer, which is what we homebrewed your armor to be. So your stuff is actually named. You do have good names for your ship. And personally, I really like Smother and Spark, because I think that's pretty fucking sick. But then I came up with it, so you know I'm going to. So yeah, you've got all of that, and I suppose you've just got yet to walk through this doorway. Are you going to walk through the doorway?
I will try to walk through the doorway.
Okay. Well, you can't make it through because you're only
Yeah,
it's
well-
only 1 inch wide, and you
Yeah.
can't shrink down to any size. You medium. But Fabius, you said that you were going to change shape into a different creature and go through, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you want to have a go now?
Yeah, I can do it.
All right. So you, what creature are you going to turn into?
Yeah, I was thinking about that, like 1 inch. That's
Mm-hmm.
which one we have seen that is that small.
Well, it would probably be a very low challenge rating.
Yeah, but like rat is too big. Like
Perhaps an insect of sorts?
I was trying to find it.
I mean, there's a lizard. There's a lizard.
Oh, yeah.
There's a rat.
Yeah,
Rats can fit
but
through. Rats can fit through anything that's the size of their head, because they've got like.
Oh, they can.
Yeah, they've got rats. Rats have got like really really soft bones. They're like cartilaginous almost. So rats can fit through tiny, tiny places. Like there is no way of keeping vermin out of your house for good unless you just fully shut all of your doors and windows. Honestly, there's just no way. 'Cause
Okay.
Rats.
And
yeah.
then
Don't want to give anybody nightmares, but rats, they're fucking sick. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I can
you
take
can
a
turn
rat.
into a rat. Okay. So what does your rat look like? Tell us what this transformation appears like to everybody.
yeah, my rat is like the same color as my fur.
And do you
And
go
it's like-
sort of? What's your wild shape look like? Are you going like what are they called? B stars? Are you going B stars where you just sort of like fully morph just down, or do you have a different flavor to it? I've seen some people have said that like their meat just drops to the floor and out of the meat crawls the new creature, or some people like unzip their body and out of it comes the other creature, or do you have some kind of magic that sprinkles around you and you do something, kind of camp like that? What are you doing? I like the
I
camp
think
way. I love a bit of camp sometimes, but I also
I
really like
think
the vicious thing of just come apart of. I personally, if it was me, it would be meat drops to ground, crawl out of meat. But that's because I'm a weirdo. So.
I think more of like the Harry Potter style, like with
Harry Potter
when
style.
yeah, like when the clothes like drops and like they crawl out. Like
Oh, right.
what's he
So
called?
like
Peter
you
Pettigrew.
vanish. So you vanish. All of your
Yeah.
clothes drop to the ground, and then out of it crawls a small rat.
Yeah.
I get you. Okay, so you look through this gap in the door and you see beautiful foliage. You see tall trees. You see pixies floating around in the air, sprinkling dust behind them as they go. And you step through, and as you step through, you look behind you at the door, and the door does have a handle on the other side. You just need to come out of your wild shape, you think, and pull on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay, I want you to give me an athletics check to beat the door.
Yep.
I'm not going to tell you what the DC is.
I got 8.
That's not going to do it. Maybe if someone helped to push from the other side, they might be able to help.
Yeah, I can try and do that.
Yeah. You can give it a crack if you want.
Yeah. You see, it's a normal D20, right?
Normal D20? Yeah.
Yeah. I got a 15.
You got a 15? Is that total?
Hang on. Was it what ability or skill?
Athletics.
Was it? Athletics. Oh, then it's a 17.
Still doesn't beat it. Okay, so what is anybody else going to try? Anyone else going to do anything here? Get creative. Tell me what you want to do, and I'll tell you if it works. Don't think about the rules. Just think about what you would do in this moment.
Can anyone try and pry this thing? Like the big hammer. Can we try and maybe use the weight from the big hammer and pry this open?
Okay. Icarus has been spending a long time with this hammer now. We'd say probably about an hour after the whole movement through the vines thing. I will say that Icarus has now attuned to this hammer. That Icarus will not take 1d4 damage if used. What do you think you might want to do with this, Icarus?
I like try and wedge the corner in the gap and then like push it through more.
Okay, are you doing this as smother or spark? You want necrotic or radiant damage? Necrotic is the magic of death and undeath. It's like an all corrupting necrosis of life, and radiant is like the beam of light that shines from out of celestial beings. Like it's like a holy light. It's not necessarily the light from the sun, but it is like a beautiful holy light. So you either have smother, which is your necrotic damage, or you have spark, which is your radiant damage.
I think I'll go with spark because I don't want to like accidentally kill the portal.
Okay, I would actually like you to attack the portal. So give me an attack roll with spark, and we can word this as you are wedging the hammer into it. But I would like you to do an attack roller with it. So you get a plus 10 because it's a god hammer. You get a plus 10 to your attack bonus. And I'll tell you that the door has got, I think it's got an armor class of 20. I think I'm right in saying that. Let me just look it up. Door stats, AC, 5e. Objects. Yeah, so we'll say that it's because it's magic. We'll word it as if this is an adamantine door, which has got an AC of 23. So you're going to need to hit this with 23. So if you roll a 13 or higher, you manage to hit it.
Okay. It says 1d8 slash
Yep.
1d10 plus 7.
Yeah. So with a warhammer, you can use it as one-handed or you can use it as two-handed. So if you use it one-handed, as if you're carrying a shield, then you get 1d8. If you carry it in two hands, then you get 1d10. You can also add on the plus 2, I think. Or have I already added that on? That would be strength plus proficiency is 6. Plus 3 because it's a god. No, plus 4 because it's a god hammer is 10. Plus 2 would make it 12 if you're only wielding this hammer. So you add 12 to it if you're only wielding the hammer, and if you do it two-handed, you get 1d10 plus 7. Oh no, it's to damage rolls if wielding one. It's not to hit. Never mind. It's plus 10 to hit, but you get to add an extra 2 if you're only wielding this to the damage. So you doing it two-handed?
Yeah.
Okay. So you hold it two-handed. You've got this. You've got 1d10 that you can roll. You do also have the additional damage of 2d8 radiant damage if you want to, but you have to hit it first. So have you hit it? What's your roll? You've got to roll a 13 or higher.
I rolled an 8 plus the 10 attack bonus is 18.
That's not going to do it. You can hit it again if you want.
Wait, what's the plus 7 bludgeoning damage? Do I add that as well?
a damage. No, you add that to the damage roll when you actually hit it. The attack bonus is what you need to actually hit the thing. So just because it's a door doesn't mean that you don't actually get to hit it.
If I hit it or not.
Say again?
Am I rolling a d20 to see if I hit it or not?
Yeah. What did you roll?
Okay, because I rolled a d10. I was quite proud with my 8.
So you're going straight ahead with the damage without actually seeing if you hit it yet. Okay.
Because it isn't a thing. I will roll my
roll a d20.
I'll roll my d20 and not drop my d20.
Yeah.
Didn't matter. I rolled an 8.
Okay. Try again.
Oh, nat 20.
Oh, nat 20, bitch. Yes. Okay. So, are you adding on your radiant damage?
Yes.
Okay. So you add on an extra 2d8 radiant damage. So that's 16 plus 10 is 26. Plus 7 is 33. Plus you can roll those dice as well. So roll 1d10 plus 2d8.
1d10.
1d10 and 2d8.
4 plus... So 6. 7, 8, 9. I did really bad rolls on those, but
Really
still
bad.
9.
So 9 total, plus the 33 gets you to 42 damage. This door had, let me just see it again. This door had 18 hit points. So you have fully just smashed your way through this fucking door, just obliterated it entirely. And you are now able to make your way through. Do all of you step through?
Hi-yo, Silver, away!
Do you all step through?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I've put so much
Yeah.
effort getting through. I'm not just gonna stay
Yeah.
on
Oh,
mine.
they're
Okay.
doing that.
So you all step through, and as you do, you notice that things are different here. This is. Let me just see if I can get some better music because this. There we go. That's better. This friggin' music is not working on this thing. Yeah. So you appear in this area that you thought was glades and beautiful air. Beautiful. Just grassland. It's actually the city park. This is right in the center of the Phaetropolis. You are in the middle of the city center for Fae. You see bugbears, you see pixies, you see changelings. These that I'm pinging here, those are changelings, and there are plenty of them. You are thoroughly surrounded on all sides, and as you step through, each and every one of you, the door, which was smashed off its hinges, has just come shut behind you and is no longer there. You are now stranded in the Fey realm, and that is where we're going to end our session.
Oh, I was digging the music.